Hi, Bio-Blitzers. I want to talk to all of you, whether you're Gen Xers, Gen Ys, Gen Zs. I don't care if you're Gen Alphas. I hope a lot of you are Gen Alphas out there. I'm addressing you not from this century, not from this millennium, but from the last century and the last millennium. I'm a baby boomer. Look at the wrinkles. I have a message of hope and optimism for you, though, as a baby boomer, and that is never think you've started too late. When you're starting is when you start. How many failures have we had in revegetating the North Johnson and the area around it? How many failures? Lots. But how many successes? Even more. And any success is a success. The failures only teach you how to do it better. Hey, we started this back in the 1970s. I first bought the block over across the river, north of Malanda, in the 70s. And guess what? The forestry at that time was really interested in creating a forestry industry on the tablelands. They sort of had the wrong ideas. The science wasn't very good. It was a long time ago. But think of this. We started. We just got started. And heaps of scientific research was done on that very block, within sight, if there weren't so many rainforest trees in the way, of where you're standing now. That's why I have a message of hope. Start now, because we learned so much from what we did in the 70s. And what did we do in the 80s? More of the same. The forestry slowly was getting out of their idea of building up an industry up here. Some of us private people took it over. We didn't quite succeed, but we were ahead of our time. So you have to keep trying. And what happened next? The Wet Tropics Management Authority came in with lots of money. I mean, they had so much money we couldn't believe it. Could they give their money away to farmers? Nobody wanted to revegetate their riparian zones, the edges of the rivers. So if you look at all the revegetation along Clemenson Creek, which looks to all the world today like an old established rainforest, let me tell you, it was all planted easily within my lifetime, within my time on the tablelands. Start planting now is the message. Plant a tree tomorrow. When you're 50, you will be so grateful you planted the tree today or tomorrow. Plant 10 trees tomorrow, even better. The message is never give up. Bio-blitzing is never too late. Do it as soon as you can. You're doing it. Good on you. After the 80s, after the Wet Tropics Management Authority sort of did what it could and ran out of puff, then we started to do more everyone's environment grants and various environmental grants. We applied for this grant and that grant, and we got lots of money for Malanda for the environment. And guess who came along? The entire community by that time. I wasn't all alone. There was a whole horde of people supporting me. JCU turned up. All the environment students, they came every year. The School for Field Studies, they couldn't wait to come for another outing. We had people come in their hundreds for some big community plantings. For the smaller ones, it was smaller numbers. But man, we got so many trees planted. I mean, I planted things like 10 hectares that got completely wiped out, but for one single tree by Larry. Did we give up? Nope, didn't give up. We just kept on planting. And what is now the result of some of that? There is, for example, some of the bush right behind you, behind Dungavel Park. There is a tree root corridor. We can't call it a corridor because it's not quite wide enough to be called a wildlife corridor, but put it in quotes, wildlife corridor, tree kangaroo corridor between the North Johnson and Clemenson Creek. How happy are the tree roos not to have to hop or stumble or shamble across open paddocks of brachiaria in order to get to a new territory. They can just hop through the trees. They can just jump from tree to tree. We have planted the trees to suit the roos. And guess who did all that planting? Everyone. Lots of baby boomers. Lots of Gen Xers. Lots of their kids were all inspired by and that we're part of those plantings. You kids, you Bio-Blitzers today, whether you're Gen Xers, Gen Ys, Gen Zs, or Gen Alphas, or still being carried around in somebody's tummy, you are the future. You're the future of the environment. And I want to say to you, don't give up. Keep on planting, keep on revegetating, keep on discovering the citizen science of where there's a dung beetle, where there's a new bit of wildlife, where there's a tree roo. You are the future.